Hello and welcome to a lesson CSS for responsive web design. In this lesson we will discuss what are cascading style sheets or CSS, what is the syntax of CSS, what are the methods of integrating CSS with HTML, and how to use CSS in responsive web design. So let's start with a definition. As you already heard, cascading style sheets or CSS is a language that enables web developers to style the content of web documents. It is designed to separate content from the way in which it is presented. It is important because we may decide at multiple points during the project lifecycle to change the appearance of the content and improve and modernize it, and therefore it is better to have the description of the appearance separated from the content, and CSS is exactly the technology designed for this purpose. The CSS syntax is very straightforward. It consists of style sheet, which is a set of rules that define the presentation style for specific selectors. And here on the right hand side you see that the style sheet is defined by the tags style, and between the tag style and the closing tag slash style we have selectors, which are references to HTML document elements, either by their type or by their ID or class. So you see here three selectors, h1, then hash content, and then div.normal. And these are three ways of referencing elements within HTML document. And by referencing them, we may then specify their properties. And declaration block, which is the content between curly brackets, is this specification of properties and their values. So in the first case, we will be changing text color of all the headings of the first level to black. In the second case, we will be changing the border or defining the border as 1 pixel wide, and it will be solid, and the color of the border will be red for the element with ID content. And in the third case, we will be defining font size and font color for div element, which is of a class normal. So here you see how it works. And again, as with HTML, the structure is straightforward, but you may also use it to build quite complex set of rules, and frequently styles are quite complex in the more advanced websites because of how many elements are there on those websites and how complex the structure of those websites is. We have several methods of integrating CSS with HTML. So the easiest but also not the most elegant way is a so-called inline integration, in which we will be specifying the properties of an element within the content of a website. So we will just add style attribute to a p element in this case, and then we will specify the properties and their values. But because, as I said, the main purpose of CSS is to separate content from the styling from the way it appears, it is not the most elegant way, because when we will want to change the appearance of this particular element, we will need to change the code, the HTML code, and if we want to style multiple paragraphs at the same time, we will need to change each instance of such styling. So the more advanced and now standard way of doing this is rather to include the style definition in the head section of the document, and then we may specify the properties of paragraph of the class normal. Here you can see it is specified as font size 12, and the color is also specified as in the first example, but here we are talking about internal definition of style. And we may do the same thing with the use of external style sheet. But then we will just need to add a link to this style sheet in the head section of the document. And then in styles CSS file, we will specify the properties of this particular element. So these are the ways in which we may integrate CSS with HTML. And then we need to speak about how CSS is being used for responsive design. Responsive design, of course, is a way of ensuring that the web content will be properly displayed on devices with different screen resolutions. And a main method of ensuring that is to use something that is called media queries. And they consist of separate styles definitions for different resolutions and breakpoints, which are screen widths for which those different definitions will be enabled. So on the right hand side of the screen you see three main types of definitions. First one is base style definition of a class container, and it has certain properties which will be enabled for mobile devices, and that follows this logic of mobile first. So instead of defining style mainly for desktop computers, as it was happening some time ago, now most developers will define the styles for the mobile devices first, because that is the way in which most people will use the website. So we define some properties and then we define two media queries specifying those breakpoints, which are those screen widths or screen resolution, which will enable particular change in styling. So if the screen width is 768 pixels, it will enable the specific way of defining container class, as you can see, and it will work for tablets, which are usually of this particular resolution. And then if the width is 1024 pixels or more, it will enable a different redefinition of container class with different values for its properties. So that is the main way of maintaining the responsiveness of the websites. But also you may further ensure the responsiveness by the use of layout models such as CSS Flexbox and CSS Grid. So these will be more advanced ways of using predefined style sheets to ensure the responsiveness. So to sum it up, CSS allows to define the style of web content without interfering with the document structure. And CSS syntax consists of style sheets, selectors, and declaration blocks. As we could also see, the three ways of integrating CSS styles with HTML document are inline, internal, and external, with internal and external being currently used. And the use of CSS media queries and layout models such as Flexbox or Grid will ensure the responsiveness of our website. Thank you so much, and see you soon.